Most bankers aren't ready to help you until after their third cup of coffee. But with Central National Bank's after-hours service, you don't have to wait for the bank lobby to open to get help. You can contact us from 6 to 8:30 in the morning or from 5 to 10 in the evening, and we'll connect you to a real, live, local person who can answer questions and fix problems 7 days a week. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Member FDIC.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Bois. I'm Mike.
And I'm Rusty.
Rusty, we got a little bit of a sad one.
Yeah, this one's a real heavy episode, especially for guys named Rusty.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah.
How long you been going by Rusty Shackelford?
Just Rusty for probably like 15 years. I'm 33.
Really, that long, huh?
I'm 33, and I've been going since I was at least, like 17, 16.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's something that I always used. Matter of fact, if I call somebody who still has caller ID, if you had a caller ID, my phone would pop up and it would say Rusty Shackelford on your caller ID.
Yeah.
Mail. I get mail sometimes.
Johnny Hardwick, he passed away August 8th. He was 64. He's from Austin, Texas, about an hour and a half away from us.
Yeah, an Austinite. Actually lived on Rainy Street before Rainy Street became condo hotel hell.
Yeah. Born September 21st, 1958. Like I say, passed August 8th, 2023. This is just his Wikipedia that I pulled, and I just want to kind of talk about some things as we go through it. He was an American voice actor, comedian, writer, producer, and YouTuber. He was best known as the voice of Dale Gribble in the animated American television show King of the Hill. He was also its staff writer, story editor, and producer. He had three, and I did not know this, he had 3 Primetime Emmy Award nominations.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1999, he won an Emmy for producing King of the Hill.
Yep.
He was born in Austin. He attended Texas Tech in Lubbock. They got the guns and the tortillas.
Tech.
And the
That's
tortillas.
actually, that's where I was college I went to.
After graduating with a BA degree in journalism, he worked for a decade as a bartender in live blues bars in Dallas and Austin, including Nick's Uptown. I know where that's at. 6th Street Live and the Greenville Bar and Grill.
There's probably a possibility he might have served you a beer at some point.
Oh, it's absolutely a possibility. Yeah, if we're talking,
because guys, you got to remember we're only an hour and a half from Austin. So when we say like, hey, we know what that bar is. We're close to Austin too.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely,
Pretty close
absolutely.
To us.
So he started in 1990. He performed a stand-up comedy, or he was performing stand-up comedy. He did it for years. He appeared at the Dallas Improv, the Velveeta Room in Austin. Know exactly where that's at. Appearing on shows including Evening at the Improv, Caroline's Comedy Hour, which was huge in the late 80s.
Yeah.
He was the first comic to appear on the Jon Stewart Show in 1995.
That's big for me, was the Jon Stewart Show, because I watched a lot of Jon Stewart when I was like a teenager and stuff like that.
And then in 95, he worked at the Montreal Comedy Festival, which I don't know if people understand how big a festival that is. That's the Just for Laughs Montreal Comedy Festival. Big deal. There, Brandon Tartikoff, who used to run NBC, saw him and signed him to a sitcom on NBC that never materialized. So he was supposed to have his own sitcom. After Hardwick signed with the Strauss-McGarr agency, he was continually booked in stand-up across the U.S., while at the Laugh Factory in L.A., one of the biggest in the world.
Yeah.
No longer open, by the way, right? That's the one that Mitzi owned.
Nah, she owned a Comedy Store.
Comedy Store, that's right. Okay, Laugh Factory's still there. Yeah.
It's under different ownership now, I think, though.
He performed a set about his father in Texas. Afterward, he was approached by television writers and producers Greg Daniel and Mike Judge, who just happened to be there.
Yep.
And he was, they were at the time creating the Texas-themed comedy King of the Hill. They hired him to write for the fledgling program, so he moved from Austin to Silver Lake, Los Angeles. His first day on the job was one day after NBC's option on his sitcom development deal expired, legally letting him work for another network.
Yep.
So that was kind of cool. The role of Dale Gribble was originally offered to Daniel Stern. You know Daniel Stern?
I do know Daniel Stern. He was big in the 80s.
He was.
He was in, I looked up what movies he had been in, and I'd seen him.
Yeah, he was one of the Wet Bandits. Yeah.
Oh, he was one of the Wet Bandits?
He was the tall one. Yeah.
Oh, that's Daniel Stern?
Yeah, that's Daniel Stern.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What I read about that was that he wanted the Hollywood payday from a show that's just starting.
Right.
And they didn't have the money to give him that he wanted.
Yeah.
So they had to pass on him because if he would have optioned and just had an option to change his contract if the show did good, he would have been in the clear kind of thing, but he didn't do that.
Yeah, it literally says they offered it to Daniel Stern, but producers were unable to agree with Stern on a salary. Instead, Hardwick won it by not arguing about money. He performed the role on the show's entire 13-year run and appeared in 257 of 258 episodes.
Yeah, the role after that, from what I read about it all, is Dale for Daniel Stern is not Dale that we we would not recognize that character. It was like a redevelopment whenever they did it. They drew the character. If you look at Johnny Hardwick and you look at Dale, you're like, they were made for each other kind of thing.
Yeah. On September 12th, 2012, Hardwick created a YouTube channel, although it has no uploads until 2015. In December 2018, he started regularly uploading new content. If you haven't seen some of his stuff, you really need to go watch it.
It's really good stuff.
It's just him and a piano sometimes.
And he's doing Dale, doing the Dale character as he sings songs and stuff like that as Dale. It's really
good stuff. If you want to see what this guy was really like, I think that's him. You know, he became the character became him.
Yeah, for sure.
So it says as of May 2023, the channel had 17,500 subscribers. I bet it's got a lot more now. And over 608,000 views, primarily streaming song parodies and monologues in Dale's voice. Hardwick died in his Austin home on August 8th, 2023 at the age of 64.
I got something that I wanted to read here, too.
Yeah, please.
So, for everybody that doesn't know, there's this big King of the Hill group on Facebook. It's called King of the Hill Humpty's Revenge. One of the top contributors in there is longtime King of the Hill producer Jim Dotrieve. Yeah. Where Bill's last name actually comes from is from this guy. He wrote a heartfelt little piece here that I wanted to read out loud. So this is from Jim Dotrieve to all of the King of the Hill fans. So this is not me speaking, and Jim is not affiliated with the show. I just thought it was sweet, and I just thought that fans of the show would like to hear it.
Times like this bring the best out in people.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like that the fan base already is a really close-knit fan base due to the niche nature of a show like this.
And by the way, before you read that, I don't want anyone thinking we're trying to capitalize on anything here.
No, this is sincere.
This is absolutely sincere.
My nickname for the majority of my adult life has been, there's only people who know me by this name. People don't, like, my actual name. You won't even know my actual name. Yeah. Like, people know me by Rusty, and this is something that's real big, real big for me in my life, a loss like this. So I'm just going to read what Jim said here. So, dear broken-hearted Gribbles, I know you're all hurting and as shocked as we and the King of the Hill family are by Johnny's sudden, unexpected passing. Johnny considered you his family too and was always grateful and touched by your support. I was lucky to know and work so many years beside this kind and decent man who created one of the funniest and truly indelible comic characters in television history. About that, there is no argument. Johnny breathed life into good writing and made it magic. He would tell you in a heartbeat that Dale Gribble was the role he was put on earth to play, and we all actually believe that. Yeah, there's never been a more perfect marriage of man, spirit, talent, words, essence, and voice. A voice he said he drew on the beat writer William S. Burroughs. Johnny and I had a special bond on King of the Hill. We were the two Texans on the original writing staff, and it was both of our first writing jobs in Hollywood. Mike Judge and Greg Daniels relied on us to lend authenticity to the material, and we took it very seriously. The details Johnny put into The King of the Hill will live on forever. Gribble, Schrederberg. These were people he knew. He lived on Rainey Street in Austin when it still had houses instead of big hotels. Countless other things that you all treasure. All successful shows have an alchemy, an ingredient of which is what Dale and Johnny and a lot of Texans would call pure D luck. It was a lucky day for all of us when Mike and Greg discovered Johnny Hardwick. I will think of him each and every time I reach into my pocket of unwashed jeans. Pocket sand, Jim, and then two hearts. Sand.
Yeah. I think that's a fitting tribute.
Yeah, I thought that was sweet. I wanted to read it. I'm not trying to like.
Who the hell thinks of King of the Hill and doesn't think of him?
Yeah, No, well, that's the thing with Dale. Like Dale is his character. The two main people that you think of, and it's due to the nature, I think, of the authenticity of the characters themselves, and how unapologetically they are themselves. Mm-hmm. Where Hank himself has weird feelings about being anybody but this in this box, and Peggy is the same way. She's in this mold, and even Luann herself is in a specific mold, and Bill and Boomhauer, but characters that are unpredictable and you can't determine what they're going to do from one second to the next is the two characters. Whenever I think of King of the Hill, I think of Bobby and I think of Dale. Mm-hmm. And I don't think of them one or two. I think it's just simultaneously.
Yeah, absolutely.
The two most spontaneous, biggest heart characters. They really like. I know like Dale goes through all these weird things that he does, but I truly think that Dale and you could tell when Dale has that interaction with Joseph where he's like, hey, we need money for the movie, Encino Man, and they have that back and forth. Yeah. And that's when Peggy decides not to tell him. That's the episode where she's going to tell him about John Redcorn. Yeah. And she sees that tenderhearted moment. And that's what I feel about like Bobby and him is the reason why I feel like a lot of people find these two characters more relatable than any of the other characters is because of their authenticity. Yeah. And the authenticity of the people as well that play those two roles, Pamela Adlon and Johnny Hardwick here.
It's funny that you talk about an authentic character when he was so many other things. He like wasn't even his real name.
Yeah.
And so it's extremely funny to know that character was molded after him rather than the other way around. Yeah. I read something earlier today where they said that they even went back and changed the way that Dale smokes based on the way that Hardwick smokes.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Yeah, I
never or smoked. This was I can't imagine how Brittany Murphy was a big loss also, but
huge loss.
Luann's not on every episode.
No,
Luann's not.
And I don't want to downplay Luann.
No, not at all.
But whenever I think of King of the Hill, and this is what I posted on Twitter for everybody that's already read it, one of the things that King of the Hill the opening sequence of King of the Hill is 4 dudes in an alley.
Yeah.
4 friends, 4 good buddies, high school buddies.
Yeah.
They never got to leave the hometown. Oh, well, they still enjoy everything about their lives together. They're friends. They get to do, they're all different in how they live their lives. They all have different jobs and different hobbies apart from each other. But when they're together, they're just, it's like thick as thieves kind of thing. And that's what King of the Hill always really resonates with me is those 4 guys in an alley that are just living and enjoying their lives as friends and just still being able to connect and remain like it's hard as adults to even have one friend, let alone 3
make
friends.
Friends as an adult. Yeah, that doesn't happen much.
And to be able to hold on to those friendships for that long is a challenge. Yeah. And that's what they do. That's what it's about. It's about these 4 friends that go through all these trials and tribulations, and through it they grow together and they continue to just grow with each other throughout the whole show. And that's what that's one of the things that I feel like is what the fans of it find so relatable to. So is that nature of things.
I've got a few clips here of Dale. I thought we'd just kind of go through them and talk about them real quick.
Yeah.
This is the first one, first episode.
I know what's wrong with it. It's a Ford. You know what they say Ford stands for, don't you? It stands for fix it again, Tony.
You're thinking of a Fiat, Dale.
Fix it again.
I'll tell you what you do.
It's your quote-unquote pollution control. I heard on talk radio you don't even need them. They're just an egghead government plot.
How is cutting down on pollution a government plot, Dale?
Open up your eyes, man. They're trying to control global warming. Get it? Global.
So what?
That's code for UN commissars telling Americans what temperature it's going to be in our outdoors. I say let the world warm up. See what Boutros golly thinks about that. We'll grow oranges in Alaska.
Dale, you giblet head. We live in Texas. It's already 110 in the summer, and if it gets 1 degree hotter, I'm going to kick your ass. What in God's name is that thumping sound?
I want to live in London and be a rich millionaire
Now
and have
it's
people
kids.
killed.
Your friend Dale with those fire ants get right in.
Dale!
Ah! Oh, man.
They put the fire ants in Hank's yard.
Yeah, that's when he destroyed his yard.
Yeah.
Here, come here. I'm going to kick your ass.
No!
I'm
Hiding
gonna kick
behind
it
his
harder if
dead
you don't
bug.
come over here.
You shouldn't have fired me. You know what I'm like. I'm capable of any crazy thing.
But my lawn, Dale, you don't mess with a man's lawn.
I had no choice. I tried planting the ants in your driveway, but they didn't take. They couldn't bite through cement. They're weak, like me.
Can't fight through
Not
cement.
now, Bobby. I'm in the middle of something.
All right, Twister. It's
Driving
just
into
you
a
and
tornado.
Me now. 10 years
Oh, yeah.
ago, you took my shed. Did you think I'd forget that? Come on, bring it on. Ah! No, please let me go.
2 raindrops.
Oh, man, dang it, what? Hank, while you're out there, turn off my hose. Boo. I am a high-priced Washington lobbyist peddling influence. Who wants candy?
Hold on to her, Dale. Don't let her go. Oh, thank you.
That's one of
Lord.
the best Halloween costumes
Looks
ever.
like you boys were telling the truth
This is
after
the
all.
crack one, right?
Yeah, crack fishing.
Gribble?
Frozen
This
fish.
is frozen.
I caught it. That's my position.
Got Dale looking at his half.
What are
mowed
you
yard.
looking at?
Your fly is down.
It's my yard.
That's a real Texan thing right there. Yeah,
That's a super Texan thing.
That's a
yeah.
real Texan
Yeah.
thing.
Why
I
do you
love
give
it.
a shit?
Yeah, why do you care?
My flies down.
It's like my dad. He'd be out in the front yard in his underwear going to get the paper in the morning or something. And
Dude.
everybody'd be looking. He'd be like, "What are y'all looking at?"
we house set for some neighbors one time, and it was the middle of winter. I was home from work for some reason, and so if I'm home, my pants are generally off.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
And so I had to go over to their. They called and they were like, "Go check our house for this thing or whatever." So I just went over there in my underwear and came back. I don't know if they got cameras or whatever, but the whole I just don't give a shit.
Yeah,
at
I
this
don't
point,
care.
you know,
Yeah,
I don't care.
I never
It's
really
boxers.
have.
It's
Yeah.
not like I'm wearing a freaking thong or anything.
Yeah, I mean, even if
I
you
know
were,
that
who cares,
scared off
right?
a lot of folks.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. A couple more.
Oh, almost forgot. Hank, can you mow your lawn in a hurricane? Nope, didn't think so. Ha 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 ha. There's one. You
He's in the
ride
shower.
a
Yeah.
Mason. Vroom, vroom. Nothing else cuts it. It's probably
this is the
halfway
mowing
to
episode,
Mexico.
yeah.
I love when he
That
took pictures
is
of
a
That
the
was when
mower.
they stole his
Mexican
mower.
dog.
Yeah.
Oh, you think that dog did it? That dog is up to no good.
Hang in there, Dale. I'm duct taping your Zoom.
No.
Oh.
Laugh now, lady. After a month of eating cockroaches, you will be begging for gerbster.
Gerbster.
A computer? I mean, a computer! I'll be in my think hole.
My think hole.
Was that when they?
This is where his hamster screwed him over.
Oh yeah, ate all his Mountain Dew.
Not do! Yeah. How could you do this to me, Puff Puff?
Puff puff.
I saw a really.
His cigarettes floating in the dew.
No!
I saw a really cursed AI image. What it was the prompt was something like moonshiners extracting dew from mountains.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And it was just
Yeah.
like all
It's
of
that
these
green stuff.
Appalachian
Yeah.
looking guys
Yeah,
with
yeah,
like
yeah.
pickaxes,
Oh,
like
yeah.
and it was just like catching
Yeah, I've
stuff
seen
coming
that
down the
one.
side
Yeah,
of mountains.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's great. That's great. Yeah, you know, Dale was a prepper But when it came down to it, he just needed his friends and his family.
That was it. That's all he ever really needed.
Yeah, he was big on the conspiracies, but he always would let them go for the people he cared about.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think he really believed him deep down at all. You know, I think that I should get a tattoo that says "We'll grow oranges in Alaska." I think that would be a great one.
It's a good tribute. Well, we hope you guys stuck with us on this one. Johnny Hardwick, you'll be missed.
Yeah, for sure.
Dale, Rusty. What was the other name you went by? There was one more.
Skretterberg.
Yeah. You'll be missed, man. R.I.P. But anyway, thank you, folks, for being here. It's a little different one with no commercials, no anything like that in this one. We just wanted to come on and show some respect, and we also want to thank you guys for hanging in there with us. The show goes on, and I think that's what Hardwick would say. Just keep doing what you're doing. So, it's a very Texas thing too.
It is. This what we do in Texas. We tip our hats to people that were influential to us.
Yeah.
And he's been influential in my life.
Oh, yeah.
I really didn't know the man. I really didn't know who played, Dale Gribble for a lot of years. But, in my 20s, in my quest for knowledge about King of the Hill, I discovered him. And, he's been really influential as Dale Gribble in my life. So I appreciate all the memories for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. As Hank would do, we're going to go in the garage, shut the door for a minute, cry our eyes out, and then show must go on.
Yeah, show goes on.
All right, tell them where they can find us.
You can find us at bwaaakoth.com. We'd appreciate if you gave our YouTube channel some love and go over there and watch us on there if you can.
Also, go to Johnny Hardwick's YouTube page.
Go to Johnny Hardwick's
watch
YouTube
some
page
of that great stuff
and go check out that content. It's great stuff. I watched a bunch of it over the last week, and it's just I've seen a lot of it already, but the stuff I haven't seen yet was just amazing.
Yeah.
But bwaaakoth.com. You go over there and find everything over there, and if not there, roguemedianetwork.com/bwaaakoth. And go ahead and send us in your favorite Dale moment. We'd like to hear that.
We'd love to put more of these compilations together.
We'd like to hear what y'all's favorite Dale moments were. You can hit me on any of the social medias. Is going to be a bwaaakoth everywhere. If you don't want to do that, you can email me. bwaaakoth@gmail.com. If you want to do that, if your email's better for you, we might need to set up a hotline where we can start getting people calling and they can leave voice messages for us or whatever. I think that'd be fun.
Well, to be honest with you, if they want to leave voice messages, they could now at 254-300-7982. That's the Rogue Media number, and it's set up to a Google Voice account. So, I mean, if you want to leave a voicemail, I would be happy to play those.
Yeah, go ahead and give them that number again.
It is 254-300-7982.
He'll put that in the description too. So you
can
have that if y'all want to leave us a voicemail or whatever. Anything that's appropriate enough to play. We'll play some. I mean, if there's some crazy stuff, we'll play it for you guys. But it's borderline. You know what I mean? Depending on
Just tell us how much Dale meant to you.
Yeah, that's what we
or how much Johnny meant to you.
How much Johnny meant to you. Either or, however you feel about it.
All right, guys. We'll see you on Friday.
Wimatanye.
Gigi. This has been a Rogue Media Network production.